Who knew that such a simple modification can make such a drastic difference in modernizing the look of your Saab? How's it going, my Saab friends? My name is Gary and this is my channel, Weakest of Weeks. If you're a first-time viewer, I appreciate you clicking on the video and definitely consider subscribing. Not necessarily for the dog stuff, but more or less the how-to and Saab-related videos. So today has to do with this marker light. This marker light is actually extremely simple to replace. It's just a very small 194. In the States, we call it a peanut-style bulb because it's so small, but it's extremely simple to replace. And if you didn't know, there's actually an aftermarket solution to upgrade this marker light assembly. And in case you didn't know, we have a lot of official Saab techs here at the Weakest of Weeks household. The little black dog is Presley walking off. That is Piper. She is extremely vocal when it comes to modifications on your Saab. And we have a second yellow dog, Prudence, who is sleeping. Oh, and actually, I think I found the other one. Hi, Prudence. But enough riffraff, enough playing around with the Saab techs. Let's go ahead and officially get started, like Piper said. Here's a quick side-by-side comparison, 100% OEM versus Kyle's not quite 100% OEM, but slightly modified original assembly. The original one here should be pretty easy to figure out what is what. You have that ugly amber incandescent 194 bulb inside here. Now we will reuse this electrical piece right here, this little black piece. But it really disassembles and reassembles pretty simplistically here. This one, it might be hard to see, but there's actually a bit of moisture inside, which is really common, and I really just noticed that my fingernail's kind of gross, so I do apologize. I was doing some housework earlier, but anyways, very common for this to kind of separate a little bit, the lens to get loose and moisture to get in here. So it's very nice to get a refurbished style marker lens, which it's not the prettiest thing ever, but he does reseal this, so I know it's not going to get any moisture in there. But you can see that he takes the original version, separates it, puts a new LED board in here, reseals everything. I mean, even around here, you got this nice rubber piece. And I think my favorite part about this is something that's kind of ugly, but it does the trick, and that is this resistor here. If you didn't have this resistor, you'd have two problems. One, it would alert you on the SID that you have a bulb out, when in fact you don't. You just have the LEDs because you have less resistance, but also you would get that hyper flash and it would flash extremely fast. Very simple upgrade because he does utilize the original assembly. And as far as tools goes, I mean, it's very simple. All you need is your meat sticks, your fingers, some electrical tape, and some dielectric grease. Literally these two things, maybe a screwdriver to get the electrical connector off, and that's all you need. Very simple. Disassembly is super easy. I highly recommend not using a screwdriver or a trim removal tool. It's honestly not even required, but I imagine sometimes people shove a screwdriver in here and you could really destroy the paint around this marker light. All you have to do is push it forwards. You'll feel it loosen up, push it back, and it pops out. Super simple. This twists, pops out like that. You don't even have to remove this connector. This is the connector on the 2008 and up 9.3. If you have a 2007 or older, I believe it's a little bit different. You have a larger red clip, but honestly that doesn't matter because you don't have to remove that. All you have to remove is this little bulb, and it exposes the electrical connector right there. Take your dielectric grease, squeeze a little bit in here, and all this does is prevent moisture from getting inside that connector and corroding it. You take your modified marker light, you take the end here and just push it in place. Literally just like that. And now we'll get some tape, wrap it around here so it's 100% secure. All we're gonna do is just wrap it around this end here. That way this connector does not work itself loose. Doesn't have to be pretty. That's all there is to it. Push this back into the inside of the fender here. This is oblong just a smidge because this is also oblonged for this larger end here. So you have the tab up front. We'll go ahead and push the back end in first. and then just push this front in. You'll hear a nice satisfying click, wiggle it, make sure it's not going anywhere, and you're done. Since this is a US spec car, this is the driver's side. Similar process, we'll go ahead and you have the door here, front of the car facing that way. Go ahead, push it forward, releases it, push it back a little bit, that way it releases out of this little notch inside of here. Twist it, that'll pop out, just pull that connector out. Take your dielectric grease, put a smidge in there. Take the modified version, place it in there. Again with the electrical tape. Push it back into the fender. Bigger oblong portion towards the back. Put the back tabs in. Push the front in there. That is literally it. Not much of anything when it comes to the install of these marker lights. This is the passenger side on my car now installed. Sorry, it's quite a tight squeeze in my garage right now. But there is the driver's side. We'll go ahead, sneak back through here. But that is it. Quite possibly the easiest install I've ever done, or the easiest modification I've ever done on any of my Saabs. Super simple, very affordable. And if you're sitting here thinking to yourself, where do I pick up a set of these sweet LED modified marker assemblies for your Saab? Well, look no further. Use the link in the description. Hit up my friend Combi Kyle on Instagram. Tell him Gary from Weakest to Weak sent you, and he'll happily make you a custom set of these marker assemblies. With that being said, they are 100% made to order, so he may or may not have the inventory on hand. In my case, he did not, so I had to send him out my original assemblies first, but turnaround time was great. Price point was perfect. And I love supporting somebody that's making a difference in the automotive community, and especially something like the Saab community that hits near and dear to my heart, because I have multiple Saabs. I've owned multiple Saabs and obviously do a lot of videos on Saabs. So shout out to Kyle for making this custom LED marker light assembly, something that is very affordable and anybody can obtain it. So like I said, use the link in the description, and especially reach out to him if you're interested in getting a set for a different Saab model, one that's not like this new Gen 9 3, and I'm sure he can make you up a set. As far as I know, he can even do custom ones to where they're a smoked lens, so you have less of that like white or clear, and it's kind of like a tinted version. So reach out to my friend Combi Kyle, and I'm sure he can make you up a custom set. Clearly, I'm boring Saab Tech Piper here. So let's go ahead and show you the difference between the incandescent bulb versus this LED version. Now, I will say a quick disclaimer. My camera is not the most fantastic thing ever, so it's probably just going to bleed the color and it's going to look like one flashing blob. It's actually an LED strip, so it's sequential, which looks really cool. So the original one is just one bland flash. This one up close, actually quickly sequential, and it looks a lot better in person than it does on camera. That is going to wrap it up on today's install of the modified marker assemblies on my new Gen 9 3. Thinking back, I probably said marker assemblies more times than I should have, so count and drink to that. With that being said, I'm very happy I am replacing these original assemblies that are taking on moisture and water. Clearly, water in electronics is not a good thing. It leads to corrosion and more problems down the line. So I'm very happy to be replacing them with these LED assemblies. And unfortunately, I feel like the camera is probably not picking them up as well as it should be, but just know in person they look really cool. So if this video helped you out, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. I have a ton of Saab how-to stuff out there, and actually how-to stuff in general. Have any questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment down below. And if you're interested in a sweet set of LED markers for your Saab, use the link in the description, hit up my friend Combi Kyle, and pick up a set for your Saab. With that being said, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you friends next time.